Welcome to Whisperwood Stories. Today, we read 4 stories from r/shortscarystories, a subreddit that cuts horror down to short and sweet. Let's begin. Our first 2 stories are from Hyperobscura. Polaroid paranoia. Polaroid paranoia. Definition: a rare mental state found in recent subjects, more often than not loners or social pariahs, whereas what they are visually presented with is not aligned with what they believe, or vice versa. About 1 in every 50 or so subjects may show signs of Polaroid paranoia, but out of these, no more than 1% will fully develop the disorder. Causes. There are no known causes for this disorder, although the presence of an already fragile psyche is definitely a potent catalyst. Given the social ineptitude of most subjects, recent studies also suggest a general underlying dissociative disorder might be to blame. However, there is limited empirical data to draw definite conclusions as of yet. Progression. The disorder will manifest in the early stages as a general disbelief of what the subject is experiencing visually. In this stage, the dissociation is more often than not expressed verbally.
Do you see that? Can you see that? What is it?
This particular subject was monitored and recorded for a period of roughly a month after showing signs, and quickly progressed to the paranoid stage about a week or so after initiation, whereas they started doubting not only what they were seeing, but also what everyone around them was experiencing. The paranoid stage is quickly replaced by the Polaroid stage, where the subject will start photographing everything they see, no matter the perceived threat to them. Subjects have been known to obsessively record every last second of their day-to-day activities, but seem to be more active in dark or dusky surroundings. The last stage is combined Polaroid paranoia, where the subjects will not only record the perceived disbelief in their ocular experiences, but will also insist that others review the indiscrepancies. Hence the name, Polaroid paranoia. Some subjects would leave Polaroid pictures behind after an event, presumably as some form of misguided proof. As we now know, there is some manner of irony in this behavior. More on that later. Treatment. There is no treatment for Polaroid paranoia. Once the subject has reached the last stage, it will only progress to a point of unhinged hysteria, culminating in the total destruction of the subject's psyche and/or physical aspect, more often than not represented by highly creative acts of self-mutilation. There are no record survivors of this disorder per this date. Conclusion. Polaroid paranoia can only be described as a happy accident. We had no idea subjects would respond to our experiment in such a fashion, and it only strengthens our theory that there is something lurking beyond the veil of our perceived reality. The added benefit, or irony, if you will, is also that the photographic evidence left behind only further induces the paranoia state in any and all who visually inspects it, dubbed by Dr. Monterey as a contagious infestation of both mind and matter. In other words, it's a soul virus. Final notes. Further studies are highly encouraged. Call a friend hotline.
Welcome to Call a Friend Hotline. I am Lisa, your bestest friend in the whole wide world.
Hi.
Hi there, friend. Who might you be?
I'm Terrence.
Terrence. So good to hear your voice. How are you today, Terrence?
I'm fine, I guess.
That's splendid. Excellent. Wonderful. What do you like to do, Terrence?
Regular stuff, I guess.
Oh, I bet there's nothing regular about you, Terrence.
It's, hard to explain.
Try me, Terrence. I'm a really good listener.
Well, I, have these fantasies.
Fantasies are good. A sprawling imagination is the key to a rich inner life.
No, they're not, the good kind.
Says who?
I mean, everyone. They're not right. I'm not right.
Don't say that, Terrence.
But it's not normal. You shouldn't have thoughts about these things, I don't think.
What things, Terrence?
Hurting people. I can't help it. I just want to hurt them.
Oh.
Like my brother. I just want to stick a fork in his eye some days and see if, I can get it out of there. I wonder sometimes if, it makes a sound. Like popping sound.
Terrence.
And my mom and dad and Mrs. Bellingham and, my teacher and Ron and Jenna and even my best friend Jamie. I just want to know how they look on the inside, how they feel on the inside.
That's very...
But I can't, can I? That's not what you do.
You have to listen to me very closely now, Terrence. Okay?
Sure.
Lamprey mouth, eyes, centipede tongue, body of leeches, blood-swollen lungs.
What?
That's the mantra, Terrence. The bestest friend mantra.
I don't understand.
There's nothing wrong with you, Terrence. You are better than them. Better than your brother. Better than your parents, Miss Bellingham, Ron, Jenna, and Jamie.
But,
So when you feel like you don't belong, turn up the volume in your mind and sing the mantra loud and proud. Do you remember it?
lamprey mouth, eyes, centipede tongue.
Body of leeches, blood-swollen lungs. Doesn't it feel good, Terrence?
Kinda, yeah.
So when you feel like hurting people, just remember that mantra. Repeat it over and over again.
And then it'll stop?
Heavens, no. You're a special boy, Terrence. You were put on this earth for a reason. And here at the Call a Friend hotline, we will help you reach your true potential.
So, what then?
You hurt them, Terrence. You let it all out. And then you call us your bestest friends in the whole wide world.
Okay.
Good. Excellent. Now, you'll have to excuse me though, Terrence. There's another friend calling and I simply must answer.
There are, more like me?
Oh, Terrence. So many. You'll never be alone again. Goodbye now.
Goodbye.
Welcome to a Call a Friend hotline. I am Lisa, your bestest friend in the whole wide world.
Our next story is from Hackshuck. The girl who never left the bathtub. I saw her for the first time when I was 5. My football had gone over the fence into Mr. Smith's yard. Through a broken basement window, I saw her, the girl in the bathtub, pale as a daisy, submerged almost up to her neck. I had bad dreams for a while. My mama told me over and over what I thought I saw was no more real than fairy tales. My mama, see, she thought she put my mind at ease, but no, I had to see, to know for sure. When I was 10, I crept through the weeds taller than me. And through the cracked glass, I saw her again, just sitting there, pale as a daisy, submerged almost up to her neck. My mama scolded me for going over there, for trespassing, for seeing silly things that can't exist. And besides, Mama said, Mr. Smith ain't himself, with his wife just dying. Mama sent me over to Mr. Smith with a pie to cheer him up. Mama made me go, though I kicked up quite a fuss. As I walked up to Mr. Smith's front door, I did everything I could to not look at the dark and dingy basement window. Mr. Smith smiled when he saw the pie, asked me inside for a slice, so I went in. Everywhere there was dust and dirt. He seemed a mess. I'd never seen him outside more than once or twice, always at night. Kept himself to himself. I knew something bad had happened, but I didn't know what. So I ate my slice of pie and asked him if any guests ever visited. Not willingly, he said. I left and waited till he shut the door, before I crept around the back to peep at the window again. And I saw her again, just sitting there, pale as a daisy, submerged almost to her neck, smiling this time, satisfied. Mama got sick soon after, and I had to grow up fast. I barely had time to keep an eye on the girl in Mr. Jones' basement. She was always there whenever I looked. At some point, I stopped being afraid. Instead, I felt sympathy. She didn't look happy. Her cheeks greened and eyelids drooped. Mr. Jones had a bad fall, and I began cooking dinners for him. Sometimes he'd weep into his food. I failed her, he said. His hands trembled so bad he couldn't hold his gun. I guess I inherited the girl in the bathtub, though I can't quite remember when. I learned to shoot, caught a rabbit or two. Raccoons, foxes, up the food chain I progressed. It felt bad at first. I was grateful for any roadkill. I'd squeeze them like a sponge, every drop into the bathtub, and watch the girl's eyes dance like fire. Hypnotic it was. Her name was Ezrabet. I'd always wanted a pet. Now I'm hers. Nobody will miss Mr. Smith, and Mama is next. Then. Our last story is from Huge Idiot. It's been 1 year since Fiona came to us. For 1 year she has nurtured us, given us life. Our stems have grown tall and strong, our petals vibrant as they open up to the rays of the sun. We have Fiona to thank for our strength, our health. But Fiona is not happy. We can feel her rage in our roots, her sorrow in our leaves. Sometimes in the dead of night her form appears in the mist above us, hair blowing in the wind, blood dripping down her face, her body racked with heaving sobs. Fiona has given us so much. We want nothing more than to ease her suffering. And we got the chance when spring came once again, driving away the frost and bringing warmth back to the soil. He came to us on a crisp morning as the sun began to peak above the horizon. The same man who first brought Fiona to us all those months ago, hauling her in a black duffel bag. He stood among us for a long time, just staring at the spot where he had buried her, staring with haunted eyes, a face lined with regret. He never noticed our roots reaching up from the soil to wrap around his feet. Until he tried turning to leave and went down hard, arms flailing. His head smashed against a rock hidden in the grass. Bud landed among our petals and leaves, warm against the morning chill. As he lay there groaning, more of our roots shot up. First his legs to keep him from getting up, then his wrists to keep him from tearing away at us. Finally, his neck. As we pulled down with all of our might, he tried to thrash, to break away. But we are strong. Fiona has made us strong. We pulled down, 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 until he stopped moving. Our roots returned to the earth. Beneath us, we felt Fiona's grim satisfaction. Thank you for listening to Whisperwood Stories. If you enjoyed, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe down below. Do you have a story that you'd like me to read here? Consider sending it to whisperwoodsubmissions@gmail.com. Thank you again for listening, and be sure to check out the original Reddit posts. Don't let the shadows get too close.